Hello everyone, it's Burgersart, and today I'm doing something different than usual. Yesterday, news came out that the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Kazuki Takahashi, has passed away. It's something that comes to a great shock to me, as someone who's followed Yu-Gi-Oh! For the vast majority of my life. You may or may not know me as the guy who made the Mugen character King of Games, but my connection with Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes far beyond that. I've enjoyed the Yu-Gi-Oh anime immensely as a child, and loved the concept of being able to summon larger than life creatures with trading cards. The characters in the anime always had a bond with the monsters they summoned, and as I was quite a lonely child, the idea of summoning friends really appealed to me, even if said friends were a giant skeleton that shot lightning, a dragon made of emeralds, or even a penguin with a sword. I remember when I saw the first two volumes of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga as a kid, I was ecstatic that one of my favorite TV shows was also a manga, and I bought them without hesitation. I was on a really big manga and anime kick at the time because, I was recently discovering what those were. And when I looked through them, I was at first confused to see a lack of card games, but soon found myself enamored with the many life-risking games played by the Pharaoh against many different kinds of evildoers. I thought it was such a cool and unique way to battle with enemies, rather than punching, kicking, or shooting ki blasts at them. Although, in the manga, there wasn't a shortage of punches, kicks, and magical powers either. It was a battle of wits, and I was always excited to see how Yuki came up with different ways to win each of his games, and the creative ways he would punish evildoers with the penalty games themed after the wrongdoings that they've done. I eventually went on to see the Toei anime too, which is what's known to be Season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it had everything I loved about the manga. The Death Tea arc in particular was incredibly memorable to me, where they had like giant Tetris blocks rained down on them, or Joey being used as a real life fighter in a game of Street Fighter, and the gang having to defeat a special forces unit in a game of laser tag. It was off the wall and unlike anything I have ever seen before, and it remains to be one of my favorite anime of all time today. And of course, we can't talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Without mentioning the card game. I played the game since the very beginning, and I still remember being so excited to get that first starter deck Kaiba, because it meant that I had the most powerful card in the world, Blue Eyes White Dragon, at my disposal. My brother and I played the game a lot as a kid, and I played the game a lot during recess because, it was the hottest thing for kids my age. And I still play the card game today, going to my local card store often with a wide range of decks to mess around with. I even kept my deck from my childhood and tried to bring that feeling of schoolyard Yu-Gi-Oh! Alive, as I faced off against all sorts of opponents, from people using the strongest modern decks available, all the way to children just learning the game again. And my goal at my locals was never really to win, but rather to make sure my opponent has as much fun as possible. And it's just a lot of fun building a lot of different decks. Sometimes I play something like Dragon Maid, or sometimes I play something incredibly gimmicky like Jackpot 7 Turbo. And no matter what I played, I wanted to make sure there was a smile on my opponent's face. Many of the people I've met through our shared enjoyment through this trading card game, and I owe a lot to it. Without Kazuki Takahashi's work in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I would not have been the person I am today. The anime has shown me the value of friendship, kindness, and compassion, and the creativity of the show was something that stuck with me to this day. My cards are still some of my most prized possession due to their sentimental value alone, and how they remind me of a simpler time in my childhood. There were even times in my life, multiple times, including fairly recently, where Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the only source of joy in my life, and it has gotten me through some tough times. I'm sure a lot of people out there also have very similar or very different experiences with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise with me, and I would love to hear about them. I hope Kazuki Takahashi's legacy lives on forever, as he has created something truly wonderful. For creating something that has been an immeasurably positive influence in my life, Kazuki Takahashi, I thank you.